Super Tournament, Season 1.
I'm still hungry. I'm still hungry. I'm still hungry.
Welcome back to the GSL Super Tournament. We have our final best of 5, and starting tomorrow, we will go to the Final 4 as well as the finals. Our players to advance so far: Classic, Dark, and Hero.
It's been a really nice night here so far. These series have been sick. Even that Classic Maru one, really good. And this last one, coming into it, it seems like this would be the series that might be long. It might be really a nail-biter.
Hello, Solar. Hello.
아쉬웠는데 그동안 잘 지내고 계셨는지 궁금하네요.
I felt bad seeing you get knocked out early in the last season at GSL Codes. How have you been? Well, I've mostly just been helping other players practice and also taking some time for myself as well.
정말 좋은 빌드도 짜주고 연습을 많이 도와주셨다고 들었는데 얼마나 어떻게 도와주신 거예요?
I heard that you were helping them manufacture builds together.
빌드를 만들어줬어요. 아예. 제가 또
네.
토스를 좀 잘하고.
Yeah, when he prepped for his semifinals.
제가 빌드를 두 판 만들어줬는데.
Since I'm not bad against Protoss,
다 이기더라고요.
네.
I offered him 2 builds.
제가 결승 보낸
And actually, with those builds, he won the 2 maps there.
그렇게
So
생각합니다.
I like to say I was a pretty big support for him
아니
back there.
그런데 이렇게 상대가 은혜를 갚기도 전에 이렇게 이러려고 도와주신 게 아닐 텐데 김대엽 선수를 만나게 된 점 정말 껄끄러우실 것 같습니다.
솔직히
No, well,
너무 서로 잘알아서
he was very grateful for that, but now you're here fighting each other. Yeah, well, since we're friends with each other,
그래도 뭐 어쩌겠어요. 이겨야죠.
I think it's going to be a tough one for both of us.
김대엽 선수를 잘 안다는 점이
I didn't even want to
강점이
beat him
되지
actually.
않을까요?
대엽 형은 모두가 다 잘 알아서.
네.
But you also know a lot about stats, his play style.
그래서 뭐 딱히 강점이 되거나 그런 거 같진 않고 오히려 저한테 좀 안 좋을 것 같아요.
Yeah, but everybody knows how stats plays nowadays. This isn't like a big
자,
secret.
그래도 강민수 선수 여기서 이렇게 쉽게 물러낸 선수가 아닌 거 저희가 잘 알고 있습니다. 각오 들어볼게요.
작년 슈터도
So, any determinations for this match?
올해도 꼭 4강, 최소 4강은 올라가야 된다고 생각해서
The last Super Tournament, I made it to the semifinals. So obviously my goal for now is to get to the semis. Please watch my games and cheer for me, guys.
자, 김대엽 선수를 그렇다면 어떤 이야기를 하실지
Okay, over to you,
들어볼까요? 바로
Stats.
만나보겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
I want to hear what you have to say. Hello, Stats.
네. 자, 조성주 선수와 마찬가지로 별로 쉬지도 못하시고 바로 슈퍼 토너먼트
Same as Maru.
됐네요. 좀 쉬셨어요?
After the GSL finals, I can't imagine that you had time to take a break. Yeah, that's true. I've been pretty busy.
그 김대엽 선수의 행보를 보는 것만으로도 재밌습니다. 16강부터 8강까지 껄끄러운 상대들만 만나고 있잖아요.
Just watching you play in the Super Tournaments is obviously a lot of fun to watch.
부끄러운 상대들이고 그리고 또 그 16강 변현우 선수부터 8강의 민수까지
네.
저 연습을 너무
Yeah, it was
열심히
fun playing
도와주는
Beyond
이런
in the round of 16 and playing Solar in the round of 8.
만나가지고 또 한편은
Those are the 2 players who have actually helped me out a lot in the past. So
은혜를
this
갚기도
is
전에
kind of a sad moment for
그렇게
me.
열심히 도와주셨던 변현우 선수를 직접 손수 떨어뜨리시고 이번에는 또 강민수 선수 빌드를
I know
그렇게
Beyond
열심히
contributed a
짜준
lot.
강민수 선수를 만나게 됐습니다. 강민수
For you to
선수에
advance.
대해서 어떻게 평가하시나요?
But you knocked him out so easily.
일단 사실 민수가 연습 때 굉장히
And also, what about
잘해가지고
Solar's a pro gamer?
사실 오늘 좀
Okay, so when we practice,
걱정이 좀 많이
especially with Solar,
되는데
네.
그래도
I can see that he's
최선을
actually a really good
경기에
player.
임해야죠.
네. 김대엽 선수의
All I can say
전전을
is I'm gonna do my
강민수
best.
선수가 도와줬다면 이번에 강민수 선수에 대한 대비는 그럼 어떻게 하셨을지 좀 궁금한데.
So when you're facing Zerg, Solar was
여기서
one of these players that helped you out, and now you're facing off against him.
네, 제가 경기에서 직접 보여드리겠습니다.
알겠습니다. 자, 결승전에서의 아쉬움을
I guess she's asking if he did anybody else help him, and he says, "I'm not saying anything till the matches are done." Your predictions for the match, Solar.
결승전이 끝이 아니라 지금부터 다시 시작이라고 생각을 하고 또 그 연습은
We're not to the
바로 이렇게
finals
연달아
yet.
있어서 많이 이렇게 준비를 해오진 못했지만은
I always feel like the end is another beginning.
다 할게요. 네,
알겠습니다.
I didn't have a ton of time to practice.
알겠습니다.
네 감사합니다.
So I hope I can bring some great games.
자,
I'm going to
이렇게
do my
오늘
best.
경기
Thank
마지막
you. Good luck.
8강
And
4경기에
that does it. We're going to start our match now.
8강 4경기 시작하겠습니다.
Sick. The last one. This should be the long one, I think.
I think so. These two should be really well matched.
But again, maybe not. I mean, we'll see. But I would imagine this goes to Game 5. All the games are long. Both these players very intelligent, very reactive. Unlike, for instance, not that Hero's not intelligent. Hero is very intelligent, but Hero likes to get in there and do damage in a lot of his games right away, which can lead to short games. I feel like this series should be nothing like that.
Yeah. I would say overall, stylistically speaking, I think that Solar matches up pretty well against Stats. Obviously, Solar hasn't been doing as well lately, but a defensive player who's just slightly predictable, I feel like it doesn't do as well against a cognitive player, right? There's kind of some rock, paper, scissors type elements with different styles of play, and all of this is, it's like kind of generally speaking. You don't want to overgeneralize these guys and overbox them and stuff, but Solar is very much a thinking player that is trying to figure out ways to beat his opponent, especially considering he has been helping Stats to practice. He's really going to know Stats' plays inside and out.
Coming into this, I don't know. I feel like Stats actually might still be the favorite by a decent amount, even though Solar is very good. I have to say that, especially if they were helping each other prep, and there hasn't been that much time for anybody since the GSL Codas finals to get ready.
Yeah.
You would assume that, especially if they're good friends, like they are obviously, Solar would have told Stats everything he knows, like everything,
sure, yeah,
to get ready. And so I just feel like maybe Solar is going into this match almost naked.
Well, I know what you mean with this, and the thing is, I think everyone is probably rating Stats as the favorite, and he's done so well recently, and he did so well last year, and
yeah,
Solar's a bit up and down. Like at times he's easily a top 3 Zerg in the world, and at other times we forget he's around because he'll get just like eliminated in the round of 32 or something. But I don't know, I'm kind of feeling him here tonight. I think he's in good shape. He just said that he had given a couple of Stats' builds that he won with, 2 Stats. Probably one of those was the Zealot charge.
Oh yeah.
Every Zerg can feel in his bones how tough that build is to stop. So
it comes out really fast.
Yeah, for a lot of these reasons, I'm actually leaning towards Solar here. I think Solar's going to take this one down like a 3-2.
Interesting. Yeah, I just feel like Stats should have him downloaded. Know what he's going to do, and I feel like Stats, especially in defense, is going to be so strong that unless Solar has something really meta, like a build around the builds that he's already shown Stats. Now, if someone could do that, it would be Solar, but
exactly.
Let's see. In a best of 5, I don't know. In a best of 3, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going with him. I feel it. Feel it right now. Solar's a smart player. He's going to get around those Stats styles, Stats builds that he knows exist. You can see that it's been a while since his recent really strong performances. His last championship in SSL in 2016, so that was a while ago. We're in 2018 now, folks. Solar looking to pick up another big tournament win.
Yeah, I feel like Solar has always been playing fourth fiddle to some of these other good Zerg players. Like, he's been dominant. We've seen a lot of success with him, but I think he's just been slightly,
I thought he was
edged aside compared to some of the other Zergs we've had, like Rogue or Dark.
Yeah, Dark and Sue have been at the
Sue
top
as
of
well.
Zerg for so long, and I felt like for a long time Solar was third to them, and then Rogue really kind of filled in and became, probably the best Zerg. And it's probably him and Dark right now that are kind of the best too, and then it's like, and of course Bjol is always up and down, where there's times where I think Bjol's the best Zerg in the world, and times where I'm like, he's 7th,
Totally.
And right now is one of those 7th times, but look, Solar, we don't know exactly how he's going to look, but the thing is, if he just goes ahead and wins this tournament this weekend, then suddenly it's like, oh yeah, no, here he's back, he's like a top 3 once again, and I think that's all it really takes for Solar. He's still super strong.
This is our last best of 5. Then we close it out and go to the Final Four tomorrow. Solar versus Stats. Starting on the map, Neon Violet Square. These guys know each other inside and out. Now they have to take all of that information and turn it into a win.
GSL SuperTournament, Season 1, Round of 8, Match 4. Splice, Solar. Splice, Stats.
Teammates forced to duke it out here.
That's right. Team kill here. So we'll see if Stats keeps it pretty conservativeness. Solar's crazy.
See? I told you he was going to win this series.
But don't you think that Stats knows about this?
Doesn't matter if you know about this.
This has to matter if you know about this. This is one of those sneaky guy builds.
Oh, look, it's a Hearthstone card.
Is that the warrior card?
It's definitely a warrior card. I like that sign. It's quality. Alright, Stats. Just gonna make the Nexus.
Yeah, he's got that scout in there. He has a choice to make, and he does get it.
Yep. You gotta check how quick that pool is, because if it's super fast, you make your Nexus, you're gonna die. But no problem here. He'll go check for that gold. This is not completely uncommon. But gold base is extremely good against Protoss, and Solar is that type of player who is going to know exactly how to utilize this gold base.
And this is smart because the Protoss can't simply go out and take their own gold, especially with where the gold is placed on this map, which can give Zerg a bit of a tempo advantage. Now, sometimes this is used for a rush. It could as well be used to just try to macro up and expand more and get map dominance, maybe keep Protoss up a third.
Yeah.
And Solar's going to, Stats is going to be looking for that here.
Generally, the way that you counter something like this, or try to at least, is through Adept and Oracle harassment. The bases are far apart. Those two units move very quickly between bases.
Right.
And can kind of appear out of nowhere and kill drones quickly. So you look for weak points with that. You know, obviously you'll start with your very first unit. But as you start to grow in those numbers, if you can start picking off a few drones here and there, you can actually get into a nice position. But the Zergs that defend well against this, suddenly you're looking at it and you have like a few bruised Adepts and a few bruised Oracles. You haven't done that much damage, and Zerg is going up to 4 bases suddenly and has a huge amount of supply.
Ooh, he's got to be careful.
Yeah, that... Ooh.
Whoa,
Yeah,
he even had the Shade move forward. Okay, so the first Adept goes down.
Yeah.
Cancel the Oracle into a Phoenix now.
Okay, if Solar saw that he canceled Oracle and went Phoenix, and he lost his first Adept, if I'm Solar here, I'm throwing down a Roach Warren. This feels all in to me.
Wait, did he just...
Okay, he finished the Phoenix and then went into Oracle now. But, like, I don't know, this... I'm not looking at this and thinking that Stats is getting ready to play a macro game. He throws up some spores.
So the Phoenix is now going to be headed out on the map. Ling's coming down over here, looking for any kind of an opening. Again, with the Zerg on the gold base here, you're just leveraging so much more money. And I guess Stats actually wants to expand down here, which is interesting.
Huh.
He's actually willing to give Solar the gold. You know, a lot of conventional thought used to be with gold bases is that when you take it, you use that to give you a massive lead. Sometimes you want to just go for like an all-in off of that, you know, because you have the boosted minerals.
Being the gold base?
Yeah, having the gold base.
Yeah.
Or, you know, there's some concepts where maybe you need to get in there and attack them right away. That seems to be less effective nowadays as people are pretty good at taking gold bases and holding them. But Stats is just going to, as far as I can tell, just give him the gold. Just let him harass. Or you harass him a little bit, and you just let him mine out the gold, and I guess Stats is confident he can still navigate a game from there, but this is going to be very, very difficult.
Well, this is an uphill battle from here on out for Stats, I would say. Yeah, taking that back third, it's like, yeah, you're taking a third base, and I cannot fault him whatsoever for taking that third, because if you take the other one and Solar made roaches, it's dead, and you're dead, right? Solar, we see, isn't doing that, but Stats can't know for sure.
5 kills there.
No, that was nice. But the thing is, when you do something like that, and now you have, you know, it doesn't have that many mineral patches, plus your opponent has a gold, Solar just takes a 4th, and we see him taking it. It's in that nice, easily defensible position. It's a perfect 4th for this type of situation. And, like, if he just hits his macro from here, he's going to explode, man. He's going to have so many units. His economy's so solid. But to be fair, Stats is getting more and more damage done with these Oracles. It's actually very impressive.
Yeah, he's still chipping away. That being said, the Zerg growth rate is pretty terrifying. he basically is almost done having workers at all of his bases, and that's when he's going to just be able to macro up a crazy amount. But coming here and murdering like 9 drones just there.
Yeah.
If every time you harass, you're killing that many workers, then you're resetting the Zerg in a lot of ways. So that is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is. Like, at this point now, it's hard to say exactly who's winning. It feels like Stats slightly. Oh, man. It's actually getting worse. Holy crap. Now, for sure, Stats is winning.
Think about this. That's the first Oracle that was killed.
Oh, my God.
We've had way over 20 kills on workers. It might even be close to 30.
It's crazy how many it's been.
Freezing them over there with that Oracle trap. Now, the gold base is going to mine out, and kind of a very, this is not normal what we're seeing here, but he's just harassed the Zerg enough while Zerg took these hyper-rich bases. He kind of is just outlasting him.
Yeah.
I mean, when it's all said and done, Artosis, it's just going to be a mined-out gold base. And if the Zerg spent most of those minerals remaking drones, then I don't know if we really call that a solution. And with a slow crawl 4th base out here, Stats just slipping out from where he's comfortable back at home.
Oh, my
and
God.
Taking this. Jesus, man.
It's too much.
Yeah, this is... If
Stats
every
is
time an
gonna wreck
Oracle
him.
kills 5 drones minimum, plus that freeze we saw, I mean, this is...
Dude, and the thing is, Solar's going all in from here. Look at this. Roaches, Lings, he's got his Speed Bane almost done. You can't blame him too much, but Stats is good at holding.
3-4 warping rounds and Protoss is maxed out.
Jeez.
I guess Solar wants to try to come in here and smash the 4th base. The problem is I don't even know if that's going to help. I mean, Storm is about to finish. Okay, massive amount of Banelings. It might behoove Stats to try to back up. I don't know. It's actually, we're at the point in time where it's hard to calculate where Zerg's at when they've lost this many drones. We don't get the cast games where this many workers are killed off for an actual full engage.
Look at how much Psystorm he's going to have. It is impossible for me to believe that Solar can break this. I mean...
But before we start
has a
to be
good
too
amount of
critical of
Banes.
Solar, he's got a great creep spread, guys.
He does!
He does have a nice creep spread. If you lose this game, let's not forget. His creep spread was good.
You know what? Maybe he just doesn't attack from here. Because, like, when you start to get a lot of Speed Banes on this good of creep spread, you have decent upgrades on everything. Yeah, I mean, it's hard for Protoss to attack onto that. The thing is, Stats will wait until he has enough Archons that it's not so hard, I guess, right? Look at this creep getting right up to his Nexus, too.
He's got Storm to try to defend, with all that splash damage. And then if he gets enough Archons, then he can push out. And Solar with a kind of funny basic unit set. He's got enough Ravagers to break force fields. Everything else is Ling Bane. Okay, here we go. He's going for it.
Oh, man. There's so much Storm, though. Okay. Not too bad yet. Okay.
So the Storms are specifically there for the Banelings. The Banelings not really connecting or doing any damage.
No, he cleared some Zealots, and that's about it. Clearing some of this creep as well.
Okay, the Storms again are very good. If Immortals and Archons are eating the Baneling hits, that's fine.
Is it?
Well, I guess not if they all hit this in the same location, but ideally if you have them spread out and it's Archons and Immortals eating Baneling hits, it's more manageable. Solar's going to try to reload with a ton of Banelings, rinse and repeat. Now, I'm not sure if the Templars have remorphed in fast enough. Maybe Solar actually does break Stats here.
Yeah, it seems like, I mean, he had a lot of Psystorm, which is cool, because Psystorm can wreck Banelings. It feels like maybe a couple more Archons could have helped there, but I don't know. I'm surprised that Solar is doing as well as he is after he's lost like 60 drones.
Well, keep in mind the gold base is, I believe, almost entirely mined out now. So Solar has to try to come in, bait out the Storms, dodge, and then when there's no more Templars, ideally attack in. But I think Stats, and some of this goes down to the fact that Stats' third base, when he took at the bottom right, did have 2 gases there. He got to get a free base with a lot of extra gas for Templars right away.
Zealot harassment coming in right now. Solar going home to deal with it. Stats walked down to the creep for a moment, but actually backed up. So he's still a little bit afraid of getting out there. In fact, he doesn't have an observer, I don't believe. He's just making it now. Can't just rely on tags to clear that much creep, that's for sure. Going into carrier tech here. Which I don't think it's time for carriers. Right now, it seems like he just needs a lot of ground units.
Solar's just continuously making Lings and Banelings.
Yeah. This is one of those games where you just have to make nothing but Archons for a very long time.
Protoss getting shields here. I don't know if Solar can ever actually move out, but with these massive zealot attacks over here, it's kind of weird because if there's just a few Banelings in here, all those zealots die anyway. So
I know, right?
It's a very easy way to counter that is to have 3 or 4 Banelings there, and then they just have to run. Okay. Storms, beautiful storms. That was really nice.
These Immortals actually falling down here. Keeps the Archons alive, very important part of the army.
But all Solar's doing right now is rinse and repeat, just continuously loading up with more and more and more Lings and Banelings. Now, if Solar doesn't do a ton of damage here, keep in mind, every time those Banelings die, that's gas he's never going to get back. So, I mean, he is eventually not trading into anything that's... wow, almost 300 Lings lost, Artosis.
Wow. Oh, I didn't get to see the
Banelings.
drone count. My eyes are too slow.
Oh, I was in the wrong... Oh, yeah, I was looking at the wrong spot there.
Watch, it's like, no, he only lost 9 drones this game. What are you talking about? I'm like, no! There's way more. I'm crazy.
So, Stats is completely boxed in with creep now. Solar is just going ham, making Banelings. And I think finally Solar's starting to have some of that harass he wanted to deliver here.
You mean Stats?
I'm sorry, Stats is. And now we're seeing the push. Now, if he takes out, not the base to here, but the one right up here, maybe he can't expand. I think Stats is actually finally just massed up enough of an army that as he continues to remake it, this has sustainability.
Well,
he's actually pushing with this.
You can't do Ling Bane forever. You have to actually end up just winning with that straight up. That's a funny recall. And those Archons are stuck, I think.
Where?
Out the back of the minerals? The Archons that he recalled, some of them went into his mineral line. He's got a very tight SimCity there, so I'm just wondering. How do you fix that, huh?
Now, Stats eventually has to take another base here. It's going to be a little bit tricky, but I think with the... Yep, nicely done. He juggles the Archons out. So, yeah, eventually Stats has to take another base. This is a big find, by the way.
Too bad they didn't all finish just right then. So it's just all die. He's like, thank you.
Okay. The storms are excellent.
God.
Wow. That was...
Inefficient
That's
much?
it. Just stormed everything perfectly.
I am surprised that Solar lost as many drones as he did and then did as well as he did with the initial attacks. Like, the Stats was getting down to almost no units a couple times there, but Ling Bane, when you use it, you lose it. You got to remake the whole entire thing.
Yeah, and if you're losing those Banelings and the Zerglings over and over and over again, when we go back at the end of the game and tally up how much damage you did for how much resources you spent, it's very bad for the Zerg. I mean, Storms going down and taking those out, you are losing big time. Stats the patient. I feel like we need to call Stats the grandpa Protoss.
Grandpa?
Like he's wise. He's
the
patient,
grandfather toss.
The grandfather toss. Hero's the crazy one. He's the young buck. He's the wild one. But not Stats.
I wonder which one of them is actually older.
Stats turtles with Storm smoking a corncob pipe.
Yeah.
He's got his slippers on. He's got his bathrobe on.
And he's got a shotgun in his lap telling these nasty Zergs to get off his lawn.
That's right. That's right.
Get those Banelings off
music.
my grass!
Turn it off!
GSL SuperTournament, Season 1, Round of 8, Match 4. Splice, Solar.
Watching Stats drop to 0 APM. Someone's scratching their nose.
But you know what I'm saying with this just very, very cautious style?
Yeah.
Back in my day,
Stats.
we macroed up, using oracles to harass, and ultimately won with effective storms. They traded out the uselessness of their Banelings when they didn't connect to my army. Hero like pops his leather jacket up, the collar up high. He's got a chain. on his belt.
He's like basically just who he is. He rides a skateboard.
He goes, hey, teacher, who cares about these macro builds when I can blink in the main?
Yeah. And then she tricks him into trying macro builds, and he almost gets reverse swept by innovation.
Yeah.
That's when he knew teachers were wrong, and he was right.
That's right.
Acid plant. Let's see how this goes down. What will Solar go for this map?
Well, I'm pretty confident Stats can take this even more so now that I saw that last game. I think he just looked like a much better player.
I disagree a little bit. I'm still siding with Solar, actually. Not just because I'm stubborn, although that's definitely a big part of it, but
maybe a factor.
Yeah. I do want to point out, right, that I felt like Solar would kind of find a way to play against Stats, okay? And in my opinion, it's probably like massive economy with Lingbane Hydra is probably a good way to try to kill him. And he lost just uncountable numbers of drones in that last game. So many drones died.
Well, it could have been countable if we had noticed in that tab when it came up, but I was looking at
that would have been a machine counting it and us saying the number out loud. That's not countable for us, okay? You and I are incapable of knowing how many.
Ooh, nice.
But look, he still did a good job. Solar did. He still did a good job considering how much damage he took early. So if he can just I don't know, not lose 60 drones right off the bat, then I think that he's going to have a very decent shot at taking down Stats.
You know, it's kind of crazy because he actually he did that with Zerg on the gold base. You know, I mean, the amount of extra money you have back there. Really going mass Ling, Baneling, if you have a gold base and that many expansions like that, is sort of ideal because you just get so many Lings. And therefore so many Banelings as well. It's crazy that Stats did that. You know, most of the games you see, if you can't punish a Zerg for taking the gold base, you're probably just going to lose.
Yeah. Well, he's certainly punished. It's funny because, that's kind of like a new slight shift I've seen when Zergs take gold bases. They generally over-defend the gold because that's where you really want to attack. Every drone there is worth more. And then Protoss players have been hitting the other bases a lot of the time. Just being like, no, I'm just going to get any drones I can get. Generally, you have an extra queen at the gold. You always have your spore on time there, that type of thing.
Yeah, they're neglected.
Extra Lings. Yeah. So, Twilight is coming up after some of these flying units. Phoenix clearing out some Overlords. Oracle coming out as well. Could just be like a 3-gate glaive follow-up. Not entirely sure as of yet. Yeah, with no more gases, it really... Oh! A massive glaive attack.
Gates. Look at this sneaky snake.
Yeah, he's getting super aggressive here.
Splice snake is what he is. So this is a strat where things roll out so fast.
You need a Roachhorn against this.
And if Zerg doesn't handle the balancing act of economy versus... in this case, defensive units, you get rolled.
Yeah, getting that Phoenix first clears everything out, and then you go over here, and you take a Nexus that you're not going to mine from.
Yeah.
It fools the Zerg player.
You're like, boy, I sure want to expand. This is I'm a macro player.
That's exactly it.
And Slur's like, of course you are. Your Stats. And continues to run around with his Lings checking that.
Oh, he's getting a Warren, though. If he starts Roaches right now, this becomes holdable.
He's looking. Is it here?
Adding gases. Let's see what he does as the Roachhorn finishes. Damn, that's a lot of adepts already. Roach speed. Hide that production.
No Roaches yet.
Suspense.
It's killing me. 5 Roaches.
Okay.
6 Roaches.
He might be able to hold. Like, this is not just held because you made a Roachhorn. This is still very difficult for Zerg. That's a lot of adepts everywhere.
He's trying to mask the movement with those adepts in the middle of the map, so they don't look like they're just immediately running forward. But, uh-oh. Is this base yours?
Oh, man, that is a lot of adepts. He's actually just targeting queens at this point. Woo! God, that's a lot.
Keep in mind that as he thins out those queens and roaches, he can just keep hitting various areas. and there's not a ton you can do to cover everything.
Yeah, to be fair, he hasn't really killed too many drones yet. Oh man, that's where this is going to change. There are so many adepts. This is so crazy how many adepts are on the map right now.
Especially when you get him set up like this. The rallies are all totally awful for the Zerg. He's constantly trying to catch up to these units where the drones are just being killed. You see even those roaches popping out there, they're going to get mowed down by that massive amount of adepts. Whenever the real thick chunks of the army come forward for Solar, you just shade away or run away and then shade somewhere else. And you're killing so many workers. We're up to what, 15 now?
Yeah. His damage is truly massive. And notice how he's actually getting 2 Robo behind. He's planning his next move. I think he looks at this and says there's a chance that like Solar does not GG here, but his only follow-up is a massive Roach attack, maybe some Ravagers in there. And, you know, the fact of the matter is there's almost no units at home for stats, right? So he needs some heavy hitters, and that's going to be Immortals.
He's finally knocked the Zerg way below where he is in workers, 51 to 38. A little while back it was 48 to 48, but the harass from stats is not slowing down. I guess it is slowing down now, but you know he's basically been keeping Solar super honest up until now.
The amount of damage he did, plus killing the 3rd hatch, it's more than enough for him to back up into a macro game, especially with the double Robo. Masterfully done by stats, and for Solar, really, like, look, everything's going wrong. He's still even hemorrhaging some Roaches here and there. And even if he were to go and attack with the Roaches, even if he had 10 more Roaches, he wouldn't be able to do anything.
Stats is doing a great job abusing the shade here.
Yeah.
See some of these adepts getting bruised, not all being picked off, though. And when the 2 Immortals are out here, I mean, what are you going to do with your Roaches, man? Nothing.
Yeah. The Roaches are not useful right now. I think the Spire is a great play, though. He needs something desperate, and a Spire is a good desperation thing here. Like, for instance, if there's no Archons when the attack comes, if you can hold this off long enough to get into mutas, you might actually be able to kill the army. And then a counterattack can do pretty well also. So it's... the thing is, it really feels like Solar is not going to be able to win this game.
No, I mean,
but it's a good idea, at least. It's important to try something that gives you at least some chance. Man.
God, Stats is really on the next level, man.
Yeah, he is a
The fact that these guys know each other this well on Stats is just dominating like this is pretty crazy. Every little loss is just making it worse for Solar. Stats has enough Immortals that Roaches are simply put just not a threat. Now, of course, as we mentioned earlier, there's a Spire tech here, but there's enough Stalkers that counters everything too. So this is basically the killing blow. I mean, only just now has Solar wiped out that proxy pylon with the gate there, but I don't know. This should be the beginning of the end.
Yeah, he's making Ravagers. He doesn't, like, the thing is the attack's coming right as the Spire's finishing. He can't just make, 6 mutas and hold this off. That won't work. He has to spend his money. And look at this. Stats actually turns around.
Well, he's a cautious player.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's the...
Ooh, yeah.
All right, we've got another unlockable in the GSL. We saw Ravager Bile hit an Oracle and kill it.
Clear it right out of there. And now he actually can go into his Mutalisks from here, but Phoenix is being started because the Prism actually sees the Spire. So it doesn't seem likely that the Mutas will be able to do too much at this point. But if you can catch the first couple Phoenixes, you can build up that damage a bit.
Yeah, the problem for Solar Stats is continuously hard countering everything that he sees Solar do. Solar has a plan, or Stats has a plan. I'm sorry, no, Solar has a plan, then Stats goes, oh, nice idea. I'm just going to, completely hard counter that. Roaches, all right, I'm making 2 Robo Immortal.
It's like
Solar's like, oh crap! All right,
I got shield battery cannon.
Exactly. More Phoenixes are on the way, and so even though Solar's supply is fairly high, it's certainly bigger than Stats is. It's in mostly Roaches and Ravagers, which are very supply intensive.
Mutas are out now as well, but again. What are they going to be able to get done? Oh, they find a few probes here. He doesn't have Blink, right?
He shouldn't, I don't think.
Yeah. He should get it, though. That's a lot of Phoenixes already. These mutas are just worthless. He's even making more mutas, so that's not good. Oh, but the army actually kind of chased that. Oh, he has a full gateway wall in, so he had the leeway to be a little bit out of position here. Oh, boy. Well, he's going to break through the gateway wall. See if he can get something done over here. Only Zealot's been warping. I'm surprised the other units didn't get here a little bit quicker. Good zoning with those corrosive vials. Hey, look at it. I'm confused that the mutas are doing anything, but I guess, you know, microing on multiple fronts can be a little bit difficult here.
So the 4 Phoenixes chase out those mutas. Now it's, check this out. Solar's actually continuing to make mutas. Just upgraded him. 4 more on the way. He wants to stick with Ling Muta. Maybe he's hoping to keep stats on the defense where Solar can play the recovery game.
Well, if you're going to stay Ling Muta, then you're looking to win via base trade, most likely. The other way would be to, like, make Corruptors and force the issue, but I guess it's not really that bad. Ooh! It's not that bad of an idea, right? Base trades are definitely a way that someone who's behind can win, especially when you're Zerg. Look, he's catching a lot of these.
What is going on in this game?
You know what's going on in this game and in this series is that Stats is getting way ahead, and then Solar is, like, making magic. Like, not that he I mean, it kind of seems like he's going to win this game. He lost that last game, but getting way behind and then making stuff like this occur, it's really impressive.
Yeah, this is pretty insane when you consider that the Zerg was on 2 bases for a long time.
Yeah.
With just roaches. Protoss was teching up and hard countering the roaches.
He lost like 25 drones or something. And now he's got a really significant army. Look at that, 2 more starports being made. Oh.
Okay, but he has to keep those mutas alive.
Yeah.
That's way too much gas he's invested in. Once again, here's Solar with this this attack at the upper center.
Oh my god. Oh!
Wow,
those
18
piles.
kills. Oh, man. That means it's 48 workers to 68. Stats not in the lead
And
here.
look at this. These units don't hit air.
Did Solar actually just pull this off? This
Yeah.
is so crazy. What?
Dude, that was really good. See, this is what I'm talking about.
I don't even know what to say.
He's a really smart player. He knows different ways to kill stats. Both games he took massive damage early and made him into good games, winning one and losing one. Tell me he's not winning this series.
My boy Stats has got this, Artosis. I'm here to expunge your corrupt, evil, bias predictions.
Stats is a turtle macro Protoss, man. I should be biased in favor of him, but thing is,
Switch roles. It's my turn to hold the great shell of macro players. The conch. Instead of it being a conch, instead of it being a seashell, it's just a giant snapping turtle shell. You're passing around. I'm holding the snapping turtle shell. I will speak.
Okay.
Tied up 1-1. What an insane game that was, considering that Solar was beaten down so hard and came back against one of the greatest defensive players of all time, Stats. I'm looking forward to Game 3. It's going to be on Catalyst. These 2 guys, both Solar and Stats, fighting for that last place in the Final 4 of the GSL SuperTournament.
GSL SuperTournament, Season 1, Round of 8, Match 4. Splice, Solar.
Really looking quite good after he loses all his drones.
Careful, that snake has fangs.
Splice, Stats.
And both their names start with S.
That's right. And they both have the snake shirts on. Careful, guys.
What?
You know what happens if you're bit by a snake, Artosis?
I guess there's a pretty broad range.
I suck the blood out.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
you suck
right.
out the venom.
That's
Like
right, not the
Tasis,
blood.
it was a
I got
garter
confused.
snake, I'm
Sorry, I
fine.
thought I was a vampire. It's you suck the venom out. That's right.
That's Tasis is the worst vampire on Earth. He has to wait for snakes to bite people to drink their blood.
Yeah, and then I get poisoned, and I'm sick for a week.
Yeah.
I'm out.
He doesn't
for a
even know
while.
which snakes are poisonous and not.
That's right.
Tasis is just walking. He has to buy a bunch of pet snakes. We all think Tasis is a weird guy.
I'm rocking around with some book I borrowed from the library that's like 3 weeks overdue with just various snake facts, so I kind of know what I'm supposed to do. Do you have any weird pets, Artosis?
Any weird pets?
Pet tarantula, pet lizard.
No. I mean, I had guinea pigs and rabbits and dogs and cats. That's it. Yeah, that's some.
Yeah, you don't
And
seem
fish.
like
I've had fish before.
you don't seem like a tarantula guy.
No, I'm definitely not a tarantula guy.
This is my tarantula.
I'm not like afraid of them.
You ever
or
like
anything.
looked inside a tarantula cage? I'm like, I don't think it's moved for 5 hours. Are you sure it's alive?
They're like kind of cool to look at a bit, but and the thing is, I've had pets that are just cool to look at, like fish.
Yeah.
But meh. I mean, fish are cool, but I don't know. Not cool enough for me to still have fish to this day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not a fish guy. People want to have fish, I get it. I'm like, cool, okay.
If I was like a super rich guy or something, maybe I would like have a nice aquarium tank or something like that. I find it hard to keep plants alive. My dogs and children, though, they're doing well.
Yeah, well, you're much better with mammals, Artosis.
Yeah, I'm good with mammals. That's what it is,
You're
actually.
good at caring for mammals and then murdering vegetables.
Yeah. Like, haha, potted plant. I'll show you what I do to your friends that are tasty. Like, proxy oracle coming up. So, probably what'll happen is Solar will lose, like, all of his drones, and then this will be a really nice close game. That's what it's been so far. Okay, so he finishes this. This is oftentimes a giveaway that an oracle's coming. It's keeping you busy. You're not making a spore. Here come the oracle's about to finish. No spore started.
Row.
Ooh, nice block there.
Another shade coming up here.
Here comes the oracle. Right on time before the spore. Here it comes, 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 here it comes.
Surprise, it's me, the Oracle. Ha ha!
I got you.
Drones. One thing I love to do is kill those. Oh, shit, there's queens here.
10 drone kills. Really solid. Between 2 adepts and an oracle, 10.
I
Wow.
can't find it. Oh, never mind. It's down there. He's like, but there's no pylon. This is madness.
How's that powered?
Protoss OP. Ah, okay, never mind. I got a little ahead of myself. Sorry, I'm a Zerg player.
Goes up there and there's nothing there either. What it was a prism, and then it moved to the other side when the links went up to trick it.
That's right.
Get out of here, Lings.
So,
Still, it was totally worthwhile. He doesn't need anything else out of the Stargate right now. Twilight, Robo. He's going up to 4 gases. See, it's probably going to be Archons out of Templar Archives, if I had to guess.
still got with these 2 oracles the opportunity to go ahead and kill off a lot more workers if there's anything exposed. That pylon goes down, so Stargate tech's out of the way. I don't know if this is going to be any factor at all if we get later on here and Solar wants to get mutas.
Yeah, I guess if he went into mutas, it would eventually be quite good. I don't think he will this game because it's going to be Archon drops, and when the Archon's around, like we were talking a little bit about base trade before, and it never had to happen because he just started killing off stats his army somehow. But like when Archons are out, you just can't fight the Archons at all with mutas. It's so difficult.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, here comes that first War Prism. We're waiting to see that warp in. Protoss needs to keep this out of easy access from an attack here on the low ground. Okay.
Why do those things have attack?
I don't like it. You know?
It's like it's so it's hard for them to even kill a Zergling.
So, we have 11 roaches that are hatching right now, as Stats is going to try to squeeze in this 3rd base. Now, with the Archon Harass, sometimes Zergs can do big counterattacks, but you also need to have enough on the ground that you can get under that Warp Prism and punish anything that's going to come out below. Because because this can snowball pretty quickly. And it looks actually like Stats is interested in pushing here too.
Look at that Oracle on double time coming back up here to clean out so few Lings over and over hitting. Looks like a two-pronged attack coming up right now. The charge lot's going towards the third base. The Archon drop into the main.
This is looking pretty
look
scary.
Oh, but Solar actually, he's splitting his units pretty well against this so far.
There's a real art to doing this as a Zerg. Okay, first queen goes down, but these Zealots come in here just shredding the rest of these drones.
Man.
Again, as long as these Archons live through these fights, it's basically fine. He picks up the injured one, forcing them to retarget the focus fire. Did he actually do it? Does he really have enough here?
This is doing some pretty massive damage at the moment. He's making a lot more roaches. It looks like he's held that left-hand side. But this, oh, the damage is starting to really stack up. That queen dies as well. 6 drones already falling. We're almost up to Solar's early game drone loss quota. So this might be where he starts to bring it back. Or maybe this game he's just going to die to it.
I think he just dies.
Likely, yeah.
I mean, the counterattack over there on the side never did that much damage, really. Yeah. So 13 drones down. These Zealots still just tanking in front of these Archons, especially on the ramp. The splash is pretty brutal since everything kind of bunches up. That's it, GG. Stats is so good.
He is. He is. A lot of damage dealt there. Once again, just finishes Solar off right away. Man, I need to see Solar defend well in the early game once here. It's important. Solar, like, it's not that he's bad at defense at all. This is not like something he's known for. He's just, Stats is on top of all this early game aggression. You can almost see the frustration there in Solar's face. I'm not used to Stats dealing this much damage to Zergs early on, but he's, you know, you were talking earlier about how these guys know each other very well, and maybe he's like, well, this is kind of, you know, he knows me so well, he knows I'm not normally killing 10 drones right off the bat. Let's do that.
Also, I think Stats has really ascended to such an insane place that a lot of the stuff that makes him so good, we don't normally get to see. It's like he's dominating, and it's hard to explain why sometimes. We've seen the same build from other players, but he just seems to read the map and the unit pattern behavior, excuse me, so well he knows exactly what to do. Let's see if Solar can redeem himself. We're going to go to Blackpink for map number 4. Let's go.
GSL SuperTournament, Season 1, Round of 8, Match 4. Splice, Solar.
Hopefully he can defend a bit better this time.
Splice, Stats.
Hoping that Solar doesn't defend a bit better this time. Blackpink can give us some long and epic games, but feeling Stats is going to try to draw blood right off the bat once again.
So many of these games have actually been kind of crazy impressive. Like the way that Solar handled game 2, I'm still trying to wrap my head around. It's hard to come back in so many situations when games are going down like that, you know? Now, Solar...
He's very clutch in that way, though. That last game, he just couldn't even pull a defense together, though. So... hoping he can figure it out this time. Like, maybe he needs to do something like get Overlord speed early on, try to figure it out with that. I mean, that last one was a proxy Oracle, and his Spore timing was on point for an Oracle in the main base. But there wasn't an Oracle come from the main base. It was coming from proxy.
When that first Oracle comes in, and it's earlier than it is supposed to be, if the player's playing normally, the number of kills it gets, it starts to add up.
Yeah.
You know, it can be deceptive for some people when they watch. They say, well, it's only 5 kills, right? It's like, no, but it's 5 kills at an important moment in the game.
Yeah.
And when they lose those 5 drones, they have to make 5 more, so they're not getting this other stuff. And it just begins to add up more and more and more and more.
You know, when you see those 2 Adepts actually finish the Shade, even when Lings are chasing them, it's actually a pretty big tell that there's an Oracle coming. They're trying to distract you a bit and just add up those kills as well. So... little side note to Zerg players out there, they finish that Shade, make your Spores a little bit early.
Zerg players all over the world grabbing their build order notebooks. writing the word Artosis, putting a big star around it, underlining it, and writing it down in
3
quotes.
points next to that. They're right, though, of course.
So we have that Stargate coming this time around.
Yeah, from the main base, so regular spore timing should be all right. Roachhorn coming up, and this is 2-base layer with Roachhorn. Now, this could mean something like a Nidus, but it doesn't necessarily. Occasionally we see guys do builds like this.
We had a period where Solar was doing Nidus so much. It was like several games. I remember especially at SPO TV.
And do you know what? If he goes for a very quick oh my god, my brain.
Go ahead, Artosis.
A very quick Nidus. This is the type of build that you can absolutely kill with that.
Well, we've seen, especially with Rogue at the Intel Extreme Masters in Katowice, he had this cool build that he was doing this especially against players who went Robo. But I really appreciate it. He would get the Nidus Worm. A lot of these Robos are made at the natural in the back.
Yeah.
He would have the Nidus Worm pop out right at that Robo.
Yeah.
And then just kill the Robo and the Immortals that are popping out.
Yeah.
And then you basically win with the rush, because if Protoss doesn't have Robo units out, it's going to be problematic.
And when you open with a Phoenix like this, like your damage output's very low, he has very few units. Dude, he's just going to pop it up there.
That's it right there. And this is harder than it looks. I mean, you would normally expect that this is some kind of like massive disrespect to the other player. Like, oh my god, you're going to do it right in the middle. Actually, the way this works out, it's kind of funny. The damage is just too much. So he's doing it right here. Because if the army can pop out and hold this position, not only are you going to get the Robo now, in this case, you're going to get the gateways too. So Protoss is trying to abuse where the surface area really is going to be. Transfuses go down.
Yeah,
Probe around the Rosie Nidus network here. Nice pickup here. Denying one of those transfuses.
Yeah, the Oracle coming in, getting some decent damage done as well. That Queen gets transfused, though. The Roaches and Lings cleaning up a lot of probes. He's trying to chrono out that Immortal, but the chrono was actually a bit late, and the Immortal was late. I think he actually got supply blocked there for a moment, and that should be a kill.
Yeah, this strat is so good.
It is. It's super strong.
It's just like you get out, as long as you can kill off these structures. Again, guys, this is different from doing a Nidus outside their base. You do it right in the middle. No more Immortals. And that should be GG, which means we're going to be going into Game 5.
And nothing really left over here for stats. Well done by Solar. I mean, it was a good build order to choose right off the bat here, and especially when you open with Phoenix. He scouts it very late. You have very few units.
Right.
The Immortal is never out by the time the Nidus Worm opens up. Well done. I am digging this series, I gotta say.
Stats looking reflective. I think he knows that it's unlikely that Solar will do that again. But I do feel like that's a strategy you kind of know is coming, and it's still hard to stop.
Yeah. Eastwatch is going to be our last map here. And this actually gives us a lot of different scenarios that can occur. There's gold bases on this map. It's a giant map.
Correct.
So do we see, Solar do something like that quick gold base once again? Do we see just a large macro game for once? Does Stats try to proxy or all in because it is such a big map?
It's a tough one. I mean, there's so much on the line for this. Stats definitely hungry to gobble up more WCS points. Solar, he wants to make a bigger splash for himself here in 2018.
He's a player that I feel like we should see in round of 8s of GSL Code S very, very regularly. And once upon a time we did, but more recently he's had a tougher time with things. So a top 4 in Super Tournament is a good start.
GSL Super Tournament, Season 1, Round of 8, Match 4. Splice, Solar.
2 Splice snakes duking it out. See, guys, it's a snake, but it's also the letter S. Did I explode? Did I exploded your mind? Yeah.
Splice, Stats.
Speaking of, oh wow,
Check
he
the gold base.
He rocketed a probe to that gold base. It's so funny. He's like, I'm not dealing with that again. Thank you very much. Solar not even planning to do so though. Speaking of snakes, I rewatched the first Indiana Jones the other day. Showed my daughter. For the
which
first
one's
time.
that? The Raiders of the
Ark.
Lost Ark, right? Yeah. You want to know something? I'm sure some other people have heard this, but you realize the way that storyline goes, Indiana Jones, since he never actually got the Ark, he never was actually necessarily in the storyline.
What do you mean?
The Nazis would have died in that movie with or without Indiana Jones there, because they opened it without. He tried to stop them, and he opens it. Remember that?
Yeah, but the amount he slowed them down and stuff, I
true.
think it would have already been back in Germany or something. And in fact, maybe it would have been better in that case.
Remember when that guy's face melted, but it was kind of like some weird, like Halloween mask yogurt.
Yeah, it was really
It's
weird.
like white, like that.
That's an old movie, though. I give him that one.
It's a classic.
Yeah, I'm actually.
How did your kid like it? Did you have to cover her eyes at that part?
Dude, it's so weird. She's not afraid of anything.
Really?
I can't. She's 6 now. She
Yeah.
just turned 6 in January. And the thing is, I was afraid of movies as a kid. Like, there was all sorts of movies that were scaring the hell out of me. And like, I started her. She's always like, Dad, let's watch a scary movie. And every movie I put in, I keep on getting progressively more scary. I'm gonna have to watch Saw with her soon.
You're gonna watch Event Horizon or something horrible that'll really scar.
But like, so far each time she's like, Dada, it's not even scary at all. And I'm just like, how is this not scary?
She's so brave.
When I was your age, this scared me.
Yeah, I was scared of a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Not a
I was
ton,
cowardly.
But there were
downright
definitely
cowardly.
a couple movies where I was like, whew, I don't know if I can get through that one.
Yeah.
Especially as a young kid.
I'm still scared to this day.
So look at this expansion here in the very bottom right.
That's kind of cool, right?
Ah.
What this?
Well, he's trying to make it look like he's going to go for a Nidus worm,
I think.
but he's not.
But he
But
didn't.
you need to have a layer.
Yeah, that's the real problem,
Yeah.
right? That's the real problem, is that he got right up next to it. He like committed his adept a little bit deeper. We might see him like re-scout the gold bases or something now. Yeah, that adept. Look at where the adepts are going. I think he's just kind of. Is he going to look around for what's going on, or is he just going to take a base?
Well, you know, on a map this big, can Protoss really get down to that bottom right spot? Can he? Kind of
Eventually.
hard. Yeah, eventually.
Out of the way.
But I mean, it's quite a trip down there.
If you take the trip, though, you'll kill it.
Yeah, but I mean, the other thing is that if you're taking a trip and checking down there, you're also not scouting and doing other stuff, and there's probably a sense of urgency based off the losses that suffered in the last game.
Oh, yeah. Well, for right now in the game, you're totally right about all that. Like, if he knows about it, though, I think he can set up an expedition to kill it off. Where will Solar go tech-wise? Is he just going to go into Hydras from here? Not the most mobile unit to try to defend that bottom right. Yep, just Hydra instead. Pretty quick one. Gets scouted. Okay, this Phoenix looks like it is going to find the base.
Let's make sure. He's
think
already
it'll
headed
go all the way
southbound.
Oh, he turns it around. See, this is one of the problems here. Stats is so good that he actually turns the Phoenix around and continues to use it. A bad Protoss player like the Tosis would have just shift-clicked it around the map, and I would have found the base.
I would. I know exactly what you're talking about. Keep this thing busy.
Yeah. I'm just like, yeah, no, I just shift-click all around, and maybe it'll find an Overlord.
If my opponent sees where my Phoenix is, it has to be moving around, so it looks like I'm really, you know,
looks like I'm
on
not
top
terrible.
of it. I got to look like I'm Flash, and I got APM all over the place.
Truly finding the base is what's terrible. Not too much damage yet. Hydra's on the way.
So did Solar want to expand again here?
He's going to find it finally.
Yep, he knows now. Now note, that angle that he came over that ledge at, Solar doesn't know he's been spotted.
That's right.
He might think he's still covert ops down there. He thinks he's James Bond down there, but he's not.
No, he's not at all, is he? He is about to get oracled down there. He only has a single queen, so you can kill a lot of drones with this one.
Turn them on to spores.
How quick can you do it? Take both the gases, make s'mores quick! In the meantime, he's got an Archon drop, but there's Hydras here, so that is not something you actually want to do. Pulls back for now. Spire on the way. Oh, what do you think about that Spire there?
Well, I mean, it doesn't seem like Solar generally wants to win with a normal unit set. I think he knows that Stats does like to get us several War Prisms to start really harassing. He wants to play the position game. The Spire maybe allows you to try to defend things like your main here, as well as this expansion down here at the bottom.
Yeah, that is a good point as well.
I mean, that's a seriously far travel distance. If he has Hydras already, the Hydras will never in a million years get down there. But maybe it's too late already.
Yeah, no, he needs to just evacuate this base. It's totally dead. And now he's sitting here on 2 bases, so...
This is not looking good.
Was this base worth it at the end of the day?
Well, I don't think it really tricked Stats that much. I think that's the biggest factor, is that I don't think Stats freaked.
Yeah. He took a risk with it, but...
You know, this is one of the problems when you're playing against somebody who's really, really good, is they usually play in such a tight fashion that, are you really going to trick them that much to truly lead them down the wrong path? You agree with me, though, that because of the Nidus rush, right?
Yeah, no, I think that's why he did it.
It's sort of designed to look like he might just be trying to do the same thing.
He's trying to show that there's no third.
We're long past the moment where the Nidus could have happened, but, you know, maybe Zerg over-defends something that was never going to happen. However,
but
now Stats has just kind of come in here, and
this is a bit too basey from him.
Yeah.
Just to say, like, he has a 3rd Nexus, but he's not very high on probes. Sitting on top of this ramp, I don't think you quite break this. Not quite, with those Queens in front kind of tanking a little bit.
I think when these Archons get up here and actually start to connect their shots on some of these Hydras.
Hydras kill Archons pretty quick, too, though. Drone's having to come out. This is... I think he still holds,
he's still got that hatchery down there, though.
Yeah.
Stats is sort of able to do whatever he wants here.
This was a weird one from Solar, but it seems like you were right. Trying the mind games, not quite working out.
So this means Stats is going to be our winner in this game, assuming that this attack actually does clean him up. Looks like maybe just barely Solar's going to hold this, but then it's a 3-base Protoss against a 2-base Zerg. That never ends well.
Yeah, and he's down to 37 drones, so...
This Hydra count's very small.
That's so funny there.
It will be very easy for Protoss to warp in a lot more Zealots, make an Archon or two, and then attack out again.
If he happened to have a Baneling Nest and Baneling Speed, I would give him a shot here. Unfortunately, he has neither of those. Because, like, Speed Lots at this point are just straight up going to be pretty strong. Hydras can kind of gun down things like Archons and Immortals reasonably well.
Quick reminder, guys, we have the finals, with the semifinals and the finals tomorrow. Same time as when this started today. We started, what, like 4 hours ago? Yeah, 4 hours ago. So join us.
5 p.m. KST.
Make a little
5
reminder.
5 hours ago. 5 hours ago.
Oh, was it? We went out for 5 hours? Damn, these days are long. Okay, so 5 hours ago. So yeah, join us for the finals. It's going to be a lot of fun, semifinals, for our quick little speed marathon super tournament.
By the way, he's making some Phoenixes right now, so he's kind of afraid of losing that same way to Mutas. But no Mutas on the way, actually a Baneling Nest. And the Phoenixes are going to be really not too useful in this situation.
Let's remember, like, Game 2, Solar was on 2 bases and actually did come back against the great Stats, which is crazy.
Yeah. Does he have Storm? I don't remember him getting Storm.
Well, if those aren't Archons already, then...
He must, right?
Then I would have to imagine Stats as a player would...
Occasionally you forget Storm. Come on, like occasionally.
Well, it happens to everybody, but I just don't think it's going to happen to Stats this game. So I'm going to go with the benefit of the doubt and assume he does not have Storm because he's making Archons.
Well, no, he has a bunch of High Templars.
He still has Templars back
6
there?
High Templars.
Where are they?
They're in the back because they're slow.
Huh? Okay.
Okay, well, we'll see.
You're right, 5 High Templar. I thought he was morphing him into Archons when I saw that one that was over there. Anyways, Stats is trying to push in now. Again, these Hydras with a lot of DPS, but when these Storms come out...
Storm should be able to just wreck everything.
Watch, you forgot it. We're going to see the upgrade just show up on the ticker.
Yeah,
there it is.
Okay, I hadn't noticed that, but he should have enough Storm to just break right through this.
GG, Stats does it. A 3-2 win.
Yeah. a pretty cool series overall. I guess maybe Hero Innovation is a better series, but this was a good one. And Stats really played very well. I feel like Solar is on the brink of wrecking Stats in the series. Do you know what I mean?
They seem to know each other well enough that they, no matter what, are going to have a pretty close series.
Well, some good comebacks and attempts at comebacks from Solar. Some of his mind games not quite working, and some of his defense a little bit off against the drone harassment early on. But Stats advances, that gives us 3 Protoss in the round of 4, doesn't it?
That's right. The last strategy I thought was kind of, I appreciate the idea, but it didn't seem like, okay, even if you do trick him and he thinks he's going to be Nightest, how are you going to win this game? That base is so far away, you can't defend it. Yeah. Solar's a great player. Stats is, I think it's fair to say, basically better. Even though Solar's really, really good. You could see why Stats kind of doesn't lose to anything in particular. Doesn't really lose to cheeses, doesn't really lose to macro games. I mean, rarely he will, but overall he's just a very clean-cut, solid Protoss player.
Yeah.
And is, for all the intelligence and guile that we saw Solar bring here today, it was not enough.
No. Well, he made the round of 8. That's pretty good. Hopefully he can do a little bit better in Code S next season. Now, for our round of 4, that means we have Hero against Stats. What do you think about that PvP?
Am I crazy to say I think Hero wins that?
No, I think he wins it too.
Yeah. The way PvP is now,
Stats' PvP has gotten a lot better, but Hero is just like one of these other level PvP guys. I don't know. It could be a very good match, though.
Here's the results we had for this side of the bracket. Classic, Dark, Hero, and Stats.
That's right. It's our top 4 right there.
So we're going to have Classic versus Dark, and then we're going to have Hero and Stats duke it out, PvP.
Dude, look at this. Like, Stats, Dark, Classic, these guys are all just killing it lately at the top of just about every tournament.
3 very solid Protosses.
Indeed. Of course, Dark. He's so good at the moment. Could be his big tournament win. Get his year really get rolling right now.
Terran players, sorry, Maru. He'll be winning. Well, he's already won some other tournaments. It's time for the Protoss boys to come back. We are going to be starting this 5 p.m. KST tomorrow. So, by the way, feel free to come down and join us in the studio if you want on Sunday. If not, at least come online. If not that, then the bare minimum is you got to watch the VODs.
Yes.
Please.
Well, it's been a great tournament so far, and tomorrow is going to be awesome. Classic goes up against Dark again. Can he finally get a win against this guy in a tournament this year? And, of course, Hero Stats. A good PvP. With either a PvP Finals or a PvZ Finals, and that's what I think we're going to end up seeing, Tasis. Maybe a Hero Dark Finals. And if the Hero makes it to the Finals, dude, Super Tournament really is his tournament.
Yeah. I never count Hero out in these Super Tournament days.
Yeah.
This has been so much fun. I love doing Super Tournament. I feel like all the matches are so fresh in our minds as we go through casting them.
Yeah.
I love doing GSL Code S, but when you have matches that are sometimes weeks away, it's hard to just recall right off the bat.
There's no delays.
You can try to take notes and rewatch some of the games, but it's easy in this sense because it's all right there. It's fresh, and because of the length of days like this, it's the only thing we did that day. So there's no other memories we could possibly have.
It's impossible.
Well, that's all the time we have. We'll see you guys in a little bit under 24 hours for the grand finals and the semifinals of the GSL Super Tournament. Don't miss out.
GSL Super Tournament, Season 1.